So I'm gonna scoot in because I have to talk very quietly because my boyfriend is currently sleeping in the other room down the hall. So hopefully you can hear me all right. I decided to do an introduction to you just under me, even though we did brief ones in the broadcast. It's quite a long broadcast, so this is a shorter, abbreviated version that is just focused on me. So my name is Chris, and my channel is Invoking the Balance. I am a hereditary witch, not in the trad sense or traditional, but because my mother is a witch and I was raised around it. Now, however, I will say that my father is Southern Baptist, though I would not say that he is a practicing one, because he doesn't really go to church or anything like that. Um, although going to church doesn't make you a Christian, but you get my point. Um, so I grew up in a mixed household, um, and so ever since I was little, the idea that everyone had their own paths has been something that, it's just second nature to me. Um, so let's see here. On the pagan side, since I obviously turned out pagan, um, I grew up with a lot of drum circles, the drumming for peace and stuff like that. Drumming to meditate and then drumming back out. A lot of trance stuff. My mother would throw a gathering of women every month, um, where everyone could just get together and share their findings and speak from the heart and everything. And we had sacred fires a lot of times, and it was good stuff. Um, I was also part of something called the Sisterhood of the Sacred Rites, and that was a group of women of all ages and all areas too. We had someone from Germany in it as well. I adored her. Um, and what we did was our whole point was remembering the old ways, quote unquote. And that was, we would go to people's houses for milestones such as chronings or coming of age or even commitment ceremonies, things of that nature. And we would throw a little ritual for them. And it was pretty much free of charge. The only thing we asked for is just donations in terms of, any candles or anything that was used and given, because what was used would be given to them afterwards. Um, and it was a time where we could tailor what was said so that all friends were welcome if someone wasn't comfortable. And it was a very tolerant but celebrating situation. Um, and I'm very proud to have been a part of that group. Since then, I have now moved to Ohio. I grew up in Virginia, and I have lived with my boyfriend for 7 years now. We've been together 8, and so obviously the group that was in Virginia has been left behind. Well, I don't like to term it that way, but you get what I'm saying. And just to to give a bulleted kind of list on the sort of magic that I do or anything like that, my default is folk magic. Pretty much, if it transmutes, it suits. It's all about transmutation and manifestation via that. Um, so whether it's stirring something in a pot or how you stir your coffee, or maybe chanting some runes into, a drink that you're about to have, or um, visualization, and just sometimes you don't need, at least in my opinion, you don't need all of the ritual, because all a ritual is done with intention in a sacred way, you know, something repetitive that you do. And I have lots of rituals. My main altar is set so that when I get up in the morning, it's first thing I see, and I give thanks, and that is my ritual. That's one of them. If I have a cup of coffee, what I stir in, I stir in good stuff because I want to take good stuff into me. Um, so yeah, folk magic is a big part of it. I deal a lot with my ancestors who are Anglo-Saxon and Native American, um, and with that, I I am very rooted in um, roots. Funny enough to say, I'm very rooted. I'm very into the dirt and the bone and the rocks. I just, I would stay in the lower worlds if it was up to me. um, I work very heavily with runes in the form of sigils, basically. Um, I am very drawn to runes. I do believe in past lives, and in one of them, I drew runes everywhere, and it has definitely bled over into this one. In another one, I was a Native woman, and that bled over a lot too. But let's see, I enjoy chanting or Galder, um, which is basically chanting of runes, um, kind of like you would Om, but different, of course, in its own way. Um, Listening, which is a very native practice, the sacred way of listening, which is just listening to Mother Earth, listening to nature, listening to the spirits, knowing that they can hear your thoughts too. So you really don't have to speak out loud to them. You can have a constant communication between each other, and you don't have to say a word out loud. Uh, so Augury, omens, that kind of thing is very big to me. I am a medium um, and a reader. Uh, And I say this in the sense that I get flashes. This is going to sound horrible, but for those of you who know Teresa Caputo, the New Jersey psychic, or I'm sorry, medium, um, she gets flashes shown to her instead of actually physically seeing them in front of her. And that's more so what happens with me. I can't force it, it just happens. Um, I have worked with energy medicine. I took some Reiki classes when I was younger with my mother. I do adore energy medicine. I am currently studying British hereditary tradition, which is like a Welsh hereditary witchcraft, like a traditional witchcraft. Um, and that is actually what I am studying. I'm going for my first level, and Lindsay on here, the Chat Noir, I'm sorry, I'm horrible with French, she's actually going for her second. So, yeah. Um, the group that we are in is very eclectic, so this is right up my alley, this channel. Um, and I'll talk a little bit shortly about my deities. I see I'm running 8 minutes and 30 seconds roughly. So I work with Hecate. She is my family matron. She's my mother's goddess as well, so that's what that means. And I view her as kind of the Axis Mundi. Like she is the primordial womb to me. And I know that I view her differently than a lot of people, and that's okay. We all have our own viewpoints. Um, so she would be the darkness before everything was created to me, if you will. And then I work with Hel, who is the Norse goddess of the lower worlds, and I do adore this woman. She is depicted as being in various different ways, but essentially half living, half dead. And she is very empathetic with others to the extent that she herself, you would not think empathetic, but it's kind of one of those situations where you focus so much on helping others that you don't really think about yourself. And that is a big point where I commune with her. I am very much like that. So, um, and then I also work with Odin, who is seen as a grandfather. He actually has an altar right there, and the whites with him, which are like the Norse version of spirits, land elements, various other things. Um, and I do believe in dwarves. I have dark dwarves, elves, all of those folk um, running around. And Odin is seen as a grandfather. He is in the heart of my home where everyone comes in, and he is like an honored guest. So yeah. Um, and then the grandmothers. The grandmothers is more of a native thing. Um, it's not more of it is. And they are basically a circle of elder women who reside in the great womb of everything. And they have this giant drum, and they sing and chant, and they drum up the spark of life, if you will. They are seen as like the ancients of all, or the ancestors of all ancestors, in a sense. And they are the great intuitive um, voice within us all. Um, and that's kind of how I see them. Lots of dark goddess kind of figures with me. I can't help it. I am someone who is very much um, a waning year sort of person. And one word to describe myself, because that was part of the task, um, I would say keeper. A long time ago, when I asked, because we all go through this, I think, especially within the pagan area. Um, you always have those people that come up to you and go, "Well, what do you do?" And it's really hard to have an abrupt answer for them. A very simple to the point answer, because no one is simple and to the point really. Even the most blunt or complex. So I was asking myself this, and I was asking my guides and stuff, what do I say? What is the answer to that? And I got this little spiel, and it was, I'm quoting it from memory. I am my mother's keeper, my sister's keeper, keeper of the earth, keeper of souls, healer, advisor, guardian, keeper. My ancestors are of the great. No, I'm sorry. Something like my ancestors are of the great womb, and so too are yours. Um, and basically, to that, it means that I am literally a keeper. And a keeper is not, hey, she's a keeper, but um, it's more of a maintenance person. I maintain, I help um, as best I can, and I think that everyone tries to do that in life. And so, in a sense, I think we're all kind of keepers. Um, so what am I? I'm a keeper. Um, so yeah, this has been my introduction, and I am one for silliness, and you know, I'm very much a Capricorn with the sarcasm and whatnot. So I do hope that you enjoy my videos to come, and I hope this gave you a little bit of a better insight into me. So thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and if you hadn't, you should. I will see you guys later.